This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. I'm Vayoni Dimel. Amilani Perera, highly talented fashion designer who had her debut collection in 2013 at the Colombo Fashion Week, always had the passion towards fashion and creativity. She is part of the new wave of designers who are taking over the fashion scene in Sri Lanka. Amilani joins with us to discuss about her recent visit to USA and her creative work as a fashion designer. Amilani, I think the collection you presented in 2013 at the Colombo Fashion Week brought you to the limelight as an upcoming fashion designer. Let me start this conversation by asking how you develop your interest and your passion for fashion designing.
I always wanted to become a fashion designer. Since I was 14, actually, my parents thought I was going through a phase. I actually did drawing art for as an A-level subject. So I was always passionate about clothes, fashion, anything that comes related to it, like drawing, sketching. I was always sketching in school. So after that, then I got selected to LaSalle because I always wanted to become a fashion designer. I only applied for fashion schools after A-levels also. So I was studying in Singapore in LaSalle, and yes, that's how my career started. And then as soon as I graduated, I got my first job at MS Holdings as a lingerie designer. So I was working for their own lingerie brand, Amante, for close to 4.5 years. And then, yes, while I was working there only, I launched my label in 2013, which was very exciting. And yeah, that actually brought me to limelight as a fashion designer in the industry from Colombo Fashion Week.
You worked as a design consultant for the lingerie brand Hanes at Arvind Lifestyle Brands in Bangalore, which is also an American brand. Could you share your experience in that capacity and how that work helped you in your career?
Oh, it was amazing because it was a big challenge which I had to take in. Because Hanes is an American product. What they wanted me to do as a consultant was, with my Amante background and my lingerie experience with MS Holdings, what they wanted me to do was to introduce Hanes to the Indian market because it was catered for an American customer. The design, everything was, even fabrication was meant for an American customer. So what they actually wanted me to do was to consult them and do a whole new range of products for the Indian market. So I took an American product and to basically give a touch of Indian essence to work for the Indian client, at the same time keeping up with trend, what will work for a universal trend, and keeping up American standards and what the brand has got, what the brand identity and the brand signature, keeping the brand signature and the brand identity, but adding some essence which will work for the Indian customer and the client and the climate. So that was my task, and yes, it was very exciting and it was very overwhelming.
There were lots of good reviews about your 2015 collection at the Colombo Fashion Week. Share about the creative process and the inspiration for that collection.
It was a trip which I took to Vietnam and it was the whole experience was I was very inspired by the communism and how they have the political view, how it has got involved with even with simple things like art effects. For an example, like the five-clawed dragon is forbidden for the commoners to use. It's only royalty can have an art effect, a vase or a carpet or like a rug or a cape, which has a dragon with five claws, which was very amused. I was very amused by it because with our culture we don't see it that way. So if they find out a common person having a five-clawed dragon, some artifact or like a chair even, they would basically put them into jail, and there the worst consequences is happening. And so I was very inquisitive about this whole idea. So I took that essence back home, and then I created this collection which was inspired by a commoner. I made a storyline where a commoner is playing with the king's cape. A commoner is actually mocking the king because they actually have these artifacts. They hide it in their houses apparently because I think for me, I think it's like more like mocking the king because it's just an artifact. It's just you can't even sell it because if you get caught, it's just it's not going to be very pretty sight. So I created this storyline where a common person is playing with the king's cape. So there's so much of drapes happening, and there's a lot of structured clothes and a very simple pants and a lot of embroidered tops and embroidered worked skirts with very plain simple tops, which gives the idea of the royalty and common person coming together and making fun. That's the whole idea behind the whole collection. So I guess it came out pretty well, and I use this specific technique called underwater where you embroider on fabric, and when you put the fabric onto the water, it dissolves. So that was very challenging in terms of pattern making, and took a lot of time and effort. I hope, and luckily it worked out well. So happy about that.
We know that you recently visited USA, and although it was a private visit, you had explored the fashion industry in USA. Tell us your experience.
New York is one of the fashion hubs of the world. So walking even on the streets of Manhattan was just overwhelming to see all the international brands on the streets and people dressed up in all these international brands, and it was just amazing, and everything is right out of the oven. So it was like what I've seen on style.com, what I've seen on the internet, everything was just right out there and open, and it was just amazing to see the culture. And it's not just the brands and the fashion that I was so inspired by, like the ethnicity, like New York is filled up with different kinds of people, different ethnics. It was amazing to see their styling because everybody had their own identity of clothing, music. Like just walking the Central Park was just amazing because you find so many people with so many musical instruments, so many different ways of designs and accessorized in terms of fashion. It was just amazing to see the ethnic diversity and how they have approached it, how they have welcomed it so openly, and that was just an eye-opener for me because that was very different from the experience what I had in India or Sri Lanka. Like it was very different, and I'm really happy that I did the trip because I experienced so much in terms of art, even at Washington DC, the museums, everything is just spectacularly done, and they think about every little detail. They take every artist seriously, which was very inspiring. Like, it was amazing to see how they have involved in fashion and art, how important they feel about art and fashion.
You have done a photo shoot in USA.
It was really nice. It was a very great experience because it was a new crew, an amazing crew. The photographs were done by Rashan Hangiliketera, and the styling was done by Prasanna Padmanathan, and the hair and makeup was done by Senali Silva. So it was just amazing, amazing crew, an amazing team, and it was overwhelming to do it in heart of New York City as well. So the photos have come out really well, and I'm very excited about it because I met so much of great talent over there and so much of fresh young talent, and I'm looking forward to work with them as well. So this trip was just an amazing eye opener for me to see so much in USA, in New York City, and Sri Lankans who live there who do so well over there. So I'm very proud. I was very proud to see so much happening in New York City as like a Sri Lankan community as well. So that was just an overwhelming production.
We know that you are into eco-friendly fashion designing using fabrics made out of natural products. Could you explain more about that?
Yes, I'm very. I have another like a sub brand which I'm like devoted to do eco-friendly fashion. It categorized into two sections. One is accessories and one is clothing. So clothing, what I'm mainly focused on is to use natural materials, silks, cottons, linens, as much like all the raw materials will be natural materials which are made out of natural fibers, and the accessory line is mainly based on reused material like reused metal accessories and reuse materials in terms of used clothes and transform them into bags, and for jewelry items as well as handbags, clutch bags, which are like reusable, out of reusable materials. So that's the main idea behind the eco-friendly branding. So yes, I'm very interested in it, but I have to take things slow because the market really likes the idea of it, but the customer needs to be more educated in terms of eco-friendliness because the cost of production is quite high. So the pricing of the brands, pricing of the products get uh, a bit higher than the normal products which I have in the market. So there is a gap between that. So there's a lot of education needs to be given to be more environmental friendly and fashionable at the same time.
When you look back at your short career as a fashion designer, what are the most significant achievements of yours?
The most significant first step would be when I was in design school. I won a competition in Singapore, which was actually it was done by Gas Jeans, the international brand Gas Jeans, and then I got selected as one of the design students. And I was just a freshman, so it was conducted for the whole school, and all the whole school in terms of from level 1 to level 3, as well as all the other design schools in Singapore. So I became one of the top 10 finalists in that competition, and I was just a freshman. So that was the time when I thought, maybe I can go somewhere with this, because when you're a designer, you like what you do, but you need to know that there should be an audience which who like what you do as well. Otherwise, it's very hard to break the ice. So when you're a freshman itself and in a foreign country, when you win something like that, it was very overwhelming, and it made me believe in myself a bit more, that I will be able to, launch my label, maybe make people believe in what I believe. So that was the first stepping stone, I think, for my career. And then Kalam Fashion Week launched definitely in 2013, where I launched my brand, which I always wanted to do since I was 14. So, yes, those two are the most memorable moments of my life.
Where do you want to be as a fashion designer in 5 years' time?
Definitely, in 5 years' time, I want to have more of my eco-friendly products, and to be known as a eco-friendly designer, I'm there's less pollution out of my products and designs, and more of an audience who appreciate uh, you know eco-friendly products, and as well as a fashionable, as well as being fashionable about it. So that's the main goal I'm aiming at, as a designer, to be more well known as an eco-friendly designer, and to be help the nature, help people in terms of that, design with a purpose, rather than just, design products and selling it. There should be a purpose behind what you do.
Any advice for young upcoming fashion designers?
Anything is possible if you put your heart and soul into it. If you want to become a fashion designer, become a fashion designer. If you want to become a doctor, become a doctor. You have to put your heart and soul into it. Nothing comes to you on a silver platter. So you have to work hard and make yourself believe in it. That's how I got it. Like when I won that competition, everybody started believing in me, because I was just a freshman. I just entered college in Singapore, in a foreign country, and I worked so much, because it was just an extra work from school. So I had to work double my time. I had sleepless nights, because my end semester assignment was coming up, so I was working double time. I didn't sleep for a week, I think, because I was working on my college work as well as the competition work. But it was overwhelming at the end, because so you have to make people believe in you as well. You can't just be a rebel as well. So when you believe in it, work hard on it, and then others, you have to shine and show it to others, so they'll start believing in you as well. So that's my advice. So believe in yourself and work hard on it as well.
That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.